Welcome to BJA Today, and of course I'm BJ Arnett. I want to welcome you to the program. Today is very special in that we are in the state of Georgia, and entertainment here is going through the roof. If you haven't heard the numbers, we are number 3 in film. This industry is booming in this state. But to get really into what's happening legally for us as filmmakers and entertainers, for those who love the stage, whether it be on the big screen or the small screen, our guest today is Deborah Gonzales, entertainment attorney. Deborah, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, BJ, for having me.
It is more than a notion to be in the entertainment industry, but to step out on your own, leave home, everybody has that dream of that 15 minutes of fame. And then you hit this wall called there's a legal system. Talk to us about what it's like for you on the other side of the table, trying to help artists, filmmakers, producers, directors, screenwriters, because you handle all of it.
Yes, I do. And I think at the core of something that you said, which is very key to me, is how can I help them? I come from New York City, but I came to Georgia because it's booming in entertainment. And because I noticed that there was something that was missing here. Mm-hmm. And that although, the very big movie studios will have their very big attorneys,
yes,
there's a lot of us in the independent realm that they have the passion for what they're doing, but they just don't have the resources, mm-hmm, right, mm-hmm, to pay an attorney. And
that's
most of the
exactly
time,
right.
What I get is the idea, if I need an attorney, it means I'm in trouble. And then it's going to cost me a lot of money.
Because there's that, you're terrified. This is a realm we don't know.
And people are intimidated. So if you ever look at my business card, you'll notice there's a little cartoon.
Yes.
To sort of just get
She's
them to
fun.
laugh,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Into meeting me. But the idea, or what I like to tell people is, what I want you to do is I want you to pursue your craft. I want you to make your movie. I want you to become that musician, write your songs. Let me deal with, as you called it, the wall. Because
yes,
in entertainment, the key is to have value in your projects, mm-hmm, right?
Yes.
Because after you go through all of this time of raising it and raising the money and getting the camera people and getting the people to come and do it, then you want to protect it.
Yes. The only thing that I can liken this experience to in filmmaking and producing and directing and even acting is giving birth, because you go through months and sometimes, unlike children, you go through years of development.
Yeah. Well, they do call it their baby.
Yes.
Right. Whenever you talk to anybody in this industry, whatever project they're working on, that's their baby. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of people, it's a labor of love. But what people have to remember is that it's also a business.
And it's a scary business. So what's the number one thing that we should think about as we approach this industry called entertainment?
Well, first thing is, don't be intimidated by lawyers,
okay,
right? Because what we can do is we can actually be part of your team. We can help you from the beginning so that it can prevent a lot of the problems that can come on later on, okay? And ask the questions. There are resources available. For example, in Georgia, we have the Georgia Lawyers for the Arts. And so if a particular individual is within a certain income range, there's a sliding scale for legal
awesome.
Services. There are attorneys all throughout Georgia who have volunteered, become members to volunteer their time, mm-hmm, to help artists. So number one, there's resources. And number two, you have to be persistent.
And diligent.
Persistent and diligent. Keep track of things. One of the things I tell people a lot, because you'll see this, right, in very local communities, let's go make a film and it's all our friends.
And then they're not friends anymore.
Then they're not friends anymore because something happened. And unfortunately, they don't have contracts.
Right.
Who owns the right to what? Who owns the right to the screenplay or even the idea? And so I usually say that contracts preserve friendships.
Very good.
They don't have to be very complicated. They don't have to be 90 pages long. It could be a nice, simple 2-page agreement. But the idea is that everybody knows what they're getting into from the very beginning.
So as people go through the process, there are those moments of hiccup and we pressed past the intimidation, and now we're at the phase where we're walking through, like you said, there's so many independent films in Atlanta right now. You cannot go 5 miles without running into one of those signs with an arrow telling you that's a film going on. And many of them are independents. What is the one thing that's stalling the independent filmmaker in Georgia?
From a legal standpoint?
From a legal standpoint.
Okay. So from a legal standpoint, what's interesting is that many of our local filmmakers will say, I'm not going to spend the money on an attorney right now because what I have to do is I've got to buy the film, right? Or I've got to pay the cameraman, or I've got to at least get food for the actors, even if I'm not paying them. And so they miss out on very simple things like, do they have the right permit? Okay. Did they get the right release for that particular actor? Or even when they're putting together their budget. I had this situation come up where somebody said, well, I want to get this actor who's on TV, and I know he's making this on TV, so I'm just going to offer him this time. And she was like multiplying his hours, and I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. It's very different what they might get paid on TV than what they might get paid in a movie. And so I think one of the problems that we have here is how easy technology makes it so that we can make a movie. But at the same time, it's a false sense because people don't know, well, what are the things I really have to have in place to make it after I have it to then distribute it.
And that is a whole nother process. We're going to take a break right now. But when we come back, we're going to break down this system. No fear, you guys. We're past that part. Everybody take a breath. It's going to be okay. We've got the legal eagle, Deborah Gonzales, here to talk us through this system. We'll be back in a moment.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs, just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
We're back with our special guest, Deborah Gonzales, entertainment attorney. Now, we've gotten to the point where we're talking about some steps. So let's get further into what do we do once we get past the fear of getting our attorney. Deborah, thank you again for being here. It's funny that would be the first thing that you mentioned, but I get that.
Well, you have to get through the fear,
yeah,
right? Because if you don't get through the fear, then you never take the one step that's going to help you actually at the end defeat whatever it is that you fear.
Yes.
And usually what we do with our clients is we have a checklist that helps them visualize what you're doing with your project, because it's not just film, it could be an animation short, right? It doesn't have to be a feature. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the legal steps follow the movie making step or a television series step. You've got your pre-production.
Yes.
You've got your production. And then you have your post-production issues, right? So you're going to follow that step. And if you look at it that way, then it doesn't seem so overwhelming.
Yeah, you can actually bite off a bit of that at a time.
A bit at a time. And also one thing to keep in mind is that, you know, if, for example, you need to negotiate with talent, a standard contract will probably help you for most of the people that you're going to be bringing on board. So if you look at your first project as you investing in your business and setting up the processes that you need, then those are tools that you can use for other projects as you go through.
Because it doesn't really change that much from film to television to an animated project.
Or even a webisode.
Or a webisode,
right?
Which is so popular now.
Absolutely.
Do people really watch TV anymore?
Well, it's kind of funny. That is a question, and it was in Variety and Hollywood Reporter trying to discuss, you know, our viewing has changed. I mean, we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have, you know, all of these other options for us that we don't necessarily even need to sit down at a specific time.
With those options, Hulu and all of the others, Netflix, do they give us a whole different set of legal issues when we go that direction?
Yes and no. Because for us, the way that we look at it is that it's about distribution. Once you have your project ready, now we have more options as to which channel to actually put it up on. I don't know if you heard, but this year at Sundance, it was Netflix and Amazon who was buying up everything. Yes. And that sort of made people say, oh my God, what about, you know, the regular networks or even the regular cable? But we're seeing that Netflix and Amazon are just responding to what consumers are doing. And we need, in the entertainment industry, to keep that in mind, to say, you know, it's not just the only option to open in a theater. And even the theater experience has been changed.
It's totally different.
So where I am now, every theater has, you know, the dine-in aspect. So they're looking at, this has to be part of the experience. And from a legal standpoint, that means, well, as a producer, is there a way that you can get a part of that? Right? Is there a way that you can look at your project and instead of just saying, okay, this is this film or this is this short, this is an experience. Mm-hmm. And who can I partner with to enhance the
Yes.
Because a lot of those partnerships can then help pay for our last part, which is the post-production or the marketing of it and tie-ins and finding interesting and new ways to have partners. And I'll give you an example that is not a film, but Jay-Z, when he put out his book, which was about his life, you know, he made partnerships with, I don't know, about 30 different companies. And he made a game out of it. Yes. And he told his fans, you know, you can actually download my book for free if you follow these hints.
Yes.
Right? But he was very smart because he understood that his fans wanted more than just to read the book. They wanted to bring his stories to life, right?
And that gave him the opportunity to also market to a generation that would never sit in front of that television.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good.
But all of that takes contracts, because even if no money passes hands, right? Even if you're going to do a deal with, let's say Chick-fil-A, and they want to do a tie-in, or even McDonald's when they do all the Happy Meals with the children's movies, right? Even if no money changes hands, it's just about sharing intellectual property, which is your logo or your trademark. I mean, these are things that have value.
So you don't really have to exchange the dollar, but you do have to have all of your T's crossed and your I's dotted in terms of the legalese. Because now matching your company or your presentation with the right other brand is really a process of negotiation. Sometimes we think that since we know this person, I know the person at Chick-fil-A. I know the person at McDonald's. I know we lunch. We do all this together. We think we can put this together without all of this legal stuff. There are pitfalls in that thought.
Yeah, because nothing gets done without the legal.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but as we talk about business, at the end of the day, no matter who your friend is, they still have to go back and get it passed by legal. They still need a document that's going to protect their brand, right? If I'm going to connect with this movie, I want to make sure, first of all, you know, that it's going to have the same values that I have. And those might even put conditions on the contracts.
Oh, it's more than a notion. We've got more to talk about. There are steps that we have to take in order to make sure that both parties are happy, both parties are taken care of, and both parties are doing it legally. Okay, we'll be right back.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be, with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all. We approach this problem of re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on the sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
Sweetheart, think about your future. Jeff over there did, and just look at him. He saved up, bought a house, he's got a beautiful wife, they even had a fancy pants destination wedding, and they had a baby! Ah! Smart and handsome, ooh la la. Now, I've been saving these frames for pictures of my future grandbabies for years. And the shopping sprees on organic clothing and telephone cases is not helping you save for a family. Oh, gracious! Look at that! He's a model! Oh. I bet you he's putting all that money right into a 401k or his baby's college fund. And his teeth are so straight. See how good saving can look at feedthepig.org. Feed the pig.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
So you're saying to yourself now, oh, I can do this. This is going to work out perfectly. Now Hulu and Netflix, and I have so many options. Hold your horses. Deborah Gonzales is saying to us, we've got to do this the right way. Deborah, there is a lot of opportunity. But as you just said, I love it when we go to a break and you and I keep talking and we're all talking. There's some things to watch out for, correct?
Yes, there are. So the first thing, whether it's Netflix, Hulu, or even a traditional distributor, right? One of the things that happens is they'll review your film and they might come back with something called a distributor memo. Now, be aware of that memo, because what that memo basically tells you is, in order for us to distribute this film or this feature, short, animation, whatever it is, we need these documents. We need some of these legal issues cleared. It could be music. It could be a logo. It could be a piece of artwork.
And people don't realize those things in your shots are really considered. So you're saying
They
something
are.
that we don't even consider in the forefront of our mind. They're making messages and they're using someone else's brand, and they're going to catch that.
And they're going to catch that. So the example that I usually give my clients is this gentleman who made a documentary about his parents. And it cost him maybe about $400. And HBO wanted to pick it up. Well, the distribution memo came back and it was like over $400,000 to clear the items, right? Because when people are doing documentaries, one of the things that they want to make it as real as possible. Well, guess what? The phone and the ringtone, you got to pay for that.
That's
you got to
right.
license it.
That's right.
And so every little thing, and we
And
just
picking
had
up that Coca-Cola can, you just can't do it.
Yeah, but we just got a great case that's coming through. We used to have to pay for Happy Birthday, and Happy Birthday is now going into the public domain.
Oh, wow.
Which is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
That was something that people usually had to pay for, and they didn't realize it until the end, right? When all of a sudden they get this memo and say, hey, that's not here. Sometimes the memos will even get as detailed as, we don't see a contract for a particular crew member. What was that person being on that set for? And those are issues that relate to the insurance, right?
Right.
Which is another very important thing. And so when you have an attorney who's working with you throughout the life of the project, that attorney is going to be looking for these red flags and making sure that you're doing what you need to do, so that at the end, that distribution memo is very, very short. And we can get it out there.
So you're saying you're being proactive.
Right.
You're saying, okay, watch this, and this. And that's where your checklist comes in.
Exactly. And the other thing is, not everything has to be done at once, right? When you're prepping for your production, yes, you need the contracts for the above the line talent and the crew. You need to get people in place, right? But you don't necessarily need to pick the editor right at the beginning. Okay? Because the editing might not be happening until much later on.
Right.
So there are ways that when you look at your budget, you can also look at, I need the legal here, then I can wait till this part and put in the legal there.
And that makes it able to do. So then again, going back to that, let's bite off what we can do at the right time with the right pieces.
Exactly.
So we're in that stage of production in Atlanta, and I have to keep coming back to the independent filmmakers because I'm seeing so much of that, and especially in the realm of women in independent filmmaking. And I'm seeing all over the city of Atlanta women popping out with great pieces of work, but then they get stalled at the legal point. I had no idea it was called the memo.
Mm-hmm. The distribution memo.
The distribution memo. That is seemingly what's catching everybody by surprise.
Well, that's because it comes at the end of the project, right? So it's going to pick up everything that could have been prevented before. Right, because this is when it's actually going to go out into the world.
Right.
And most, filmmakers, not to blame them for anything, but they're really concerned about making the movie.
Yes.
More so than the distribution afterwards. And the idea is, let me get through this part first, and then I'll deal with that part later.
Right.
But if you think about it from the very beginning, you can actually save a lot of time and a lot of
money. And a lot of money.
And a lot of money.
As you get to the post-production stage, we're dealing with the editors, and we're also dealing with those things called pay everybody. How much do you, as an entertainment lawyer, deal with helping us through the accounting aspects, if you will?
Okay, so we don't do the financial part.
Right, I
know.
But
one of the roles that we have as an entertainment attorney is a gatekeeper.
Ah, okay.
Okay, and so part of my job with my clients is finding them the right people for those kinds of services that I won't do directly, but I know that they need. Production accounting is very important. And it's great that we now have in Atlanta, a new bank, Atlantic Capital Bank, who wants to create a whole division that's just going to deal with entertainment banking and financing services.
Which is a very special and unique for project to project system.
Right.
It's very unique.
Right. So I do the legal stuff.
And you can guide.
And I can guide you to the rest.
Well, I have to say to you that the process of understanding what we must do in the pre-production, the production, and the post-production. If you didn't say anything else, you were a wealth of information there. And there are going to be so many people that have even further questions. So we are definitely going to connect what you have given us in terms of the steps. You guys will be able to see all of that and get a hold of that yourselves. Deborah Gonzales, thank you so much.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
It's a pleasure always to see you and always to be able to talk to you about those things called legal in our field of entertainment. I'm BJ Arnett, and this is BJA Today. I hope you're having a great day. If you're not, just relax. It'll get better. Have a great night. God bless.